Hey, it's Gaz here for Full Time Devils. We are at the old Nag's Head, surrounded by pictures of the best football player ever, Georgie Best. I'm here with Ray, and we're going to talk about our first ever Manchester United game. So, Ray, don't want to sound like patronising or anything, but can you remember your first game? Because, you know, it must have been a while ago now.
I can't remember yesterday. No, my first game. My first game, no, I couldn't honestly say that was my first game. I couldn't be specific and say that's who we played that day because it was a different era, totally different. In those days, it wasn't a matter of who we're playing next. We need to order tickets. We need to get online, get tickets. We need to do that tickets, or you know, whatever. We need to be a member to get tickets. It was basically a matter of, are you going to the game? On Saturday morning, are you going to the game? Yeah, all right, we'll go to the game. And I was living in Colliers at the time. And what we used to do basically was jump on a bus, blag on a bus and jump on and off between stops until eventually after 112 bus you got off and you were at Old Trafford. And that was you were in the game. And you got lifted over as well. So you basically went out with nothing in your pocket, went to watch a match, might have blagged a meat pie off somebody and got back home and that was you. And you never actually thought who did we play. Yeah. Specific games I can remember the Blackpool game and we won the league. We beat Blackpool 2-1. Tommy Taylor scored the winner. I can remember the City game, my first derby game. My dad never took me to see a derby game because he thought it'd be too much for me. But he eventually took me to see City, and City beat us 5-0. So that was a good start, wasn't it?
They still talk about that one though, don't they?
On my derby day, yeah. Bobby Johnson scored a diving header. I can still see it. Brilliant diving header. I was still practicing it for weeks after on the croft. But that was 5-0. Other than that, everything was sort of in betweenies because my dad had a very good friend who was a City fan and he was trying to convert me. My dad was never going to be out else but a red. But Ted Cookson, God rest him, was a long time ago, and he was a big City fan. He had trials for City before the war, so he was always trying to get me to go down the main road. But that was never going to happen. But he did take me one afternoon. It was a cup replay in the days before we had television and all that stuff. City drew with Newcastle away on a Saturday, had the replay on a Wednesday. And it was a Wednesday afternoon kick-off. It was a full house, believe it or not, full house. And lo and behold, Newcastle won 4-3. The following week I went down to see United play the same Newcastle team and United beat them 6-2. So that was me, wasn't it? That was me done. I was never going to be out else but a red, not I was ever going to be out else anyway.
So thank God for Newcastle then for that.
No, I was never going to be out else. My dad wouldn't have had it, he just threw me out of the house. It was never going to happen.
I think the same would have happened to me, to be honest. I mean, I know that there are pictures of me when I was a really young boy going to games in the late 90s and things like that, but I can't remember anything like that. The first game that I very barely remember was Leverkusen. I think it was 2002, and obviously it was the Old Trafford fixture. And I remember we drew. I think we drew 1-1, and then we went out in the next leg because we drew, and we went out on away goals.
0-0, yeah.
And you probably remember more about that game than me, actually.
Yeah, I probably do. I know there's 2 Old Trafford. We went over there and we got a 0-0. I don't know how because we just bombarded them all night. But they just done the German Teutonic way. They were just happy with what they got. I don't think they made a move out. And Mr. Berbatov was sort of turned out for Leverkusen in those days. As regards going back to my own particular times, there are games that stick out in my mind apart from the City 5-0 game. I remember we opened the floodlights in those days. We had no floodlights at Old Trafford. We used to play all our European games at Main Road. That was the goodwill of our neighbours. Probably only charged us full back for it, like, you know, they didn't do it for now, did they? And then our own floodlights, which were bigger than City's at the time, I think. And I went to see the opening of them. We played Bolton, who were our big rivals at the time, and they beat us 2-0, which is typical Bolton. And then the following year, I went to see the Busby Babes. It was the last time I seen United play at Old Trafford, and we played Bolton again, and we beat them 7-2. And Duncan Edwards scored a penalty at the scoreboard end, and he hit it that hard. I think Eddie Hopkinson dived out of the way. I think it was just, it was unbelievable. That was the last scene. That was the last time I seen the Busby Babes.
Amazing. And for me, I think actually the first game that I really properly remember was Wayne Rooney's debut for Manchester United, and it was it Fenerbahce? Yeah. And I'm thinking 6-2.
Hat-trick.
6-2. Wayne Rooney hat-trick. That was my first time. Yeah. Ever seen Manchester United at Old Trafford. So
before you go, can I just point?
Okay, yeah, go on.
Out this pictures here on the back wall.
Yeah,
here,
go on.
You see, you've got Best Lord Charlton with Sir Matt, obviously, and what Best holding up there is the Players' Player of the Year, the World Player of the Year, and that was a previous winner, and that was a previous winner, and that's another winner. So that's 3 players at the one club who won what is now known as the Balloon d'Or, World Player of the Year, and we also had Ronaldo. So Liverpool could go to 5. We said we got our 4. Are they any of them World Player of the Year? I don't think so.
Amazing, amazing. George Best, the best there ever was, the best there ever will
Absolutely.
be. There will be.
Absolutely.
So anyway, share your thoughts on your first game. When was your first game at Old Trafford? Put them in your comments below. You've been watching Old Trafford. We're off for a few more pints. We're out of here.
Because there's no coloured film or nothing.
Yeah.
Well, that day for me will always be black and white.
Black and white.
There was no colour that day, nothing. There was no colour probably 3 or 4 days afterwards.